So it's the Sunday at the NEC Classic Car Show. We're on the stand with the Mk3 Robin, the Mk2 Robin, and Andy Plumb's Mk3. Now we'll be catching up with Andy Plumb later. He was the designer of the Mk3. Some of the marked material and his original drawings. So we'll have a chat with Andy in a little bit. We are surrounded by the Bond bugs, and just behind us on the other side we've got micro cars. Look at these. So we'll have a close look at those in a moment, because they quite suit being with the Reliant. Let's go have a little look. Nice little Bond 875, look at that. Now apparently the 875 was a bit strong because it's just mounted to the fiberglass and it would quite often rip the engine out. What's this one? Frisky Sport. Little peel. Can you imagine blatting down the motorway in one of these? A peeled Trident and a scooter car. And right next to us, nice collection of minis, and I spy a Clubman estate down here. I have a massive soft spot for the Clubman estate. I had one myself years ago. Not as nice as that. Quite ropey. That's quite a ropey example, as you'd expect of me and my cars. The Auto Alex over in the corner. Wheeler Dealers transit van. We're in a esteemed company. One of my favourite cars of all time. Absolutely lovely. I spy another car that I have had in my time as a Rover 62. Not sure which one it is. I had a 623 GSI. This one is 618 IS. Quite like those. Nice little dolly. Yeah, look at that. It's a bit of a beast in it. Gotta love the shark nose. Look at these for iconic small cars. And another store we definitely need to take a look at is the Volvo Owners Club. This is a Torslander, so a bit beefier than mine. Look at that. Hopefully mine will look in that sort of condition soon. Why does the 2CV Club have a massive duck? Do you think that's one of those things they ordered it off eBay and got the sizing wrong? That is quite the colour. The Peugeot 205. It's such an eclectic mix. We have to come down here. Another car I really wanted in my early days was a Vauxhall Libra. And definitely a car I'm going to try to get my hands on in the next year or so. Some stunning Vauxhalls. Look at that. That is beautiful. Look at the paint on this Chevette. It is absolutely amazing. It's a Saab bronze copper or something. It's quite a nice story behind that car. I shouldn't say there's a nice story behind the car, not tell you what it is. It was a family car, and the people who got the car on show were never allowed to start Christmas until Uncle Phil turned up in the car with all the presents and the stuff in the boot. And that is a lot of Mercedes. And there we are on the YouTuber stand. There's Steph. There's Steph. Yeah, look. This is looking lovely compared to how it started.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, I'm impressed. How long did it take you?
3.5 weeks.
Is that all?
Absolutely, yeah.
To be fair, you know, as you're saying, isn't it? It's not pristine, but it's keeping it on the road.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be, does it?
And there's Furious Driver's Rover. And the Hubnuts Giselle. I think this might be the first time I've seen one of these in the flesh. Let's have a look at that crazy dashboard. Gotta love Citroen doing crazy stuff like that. Alright, quite chuffed to see that. Let's carry on having a wander. There's Ian. Morning. Oh, I could do one of those. 9 grand for a trailer. Look at that. Imagine the crap I could buy with that. That would be amazing. I know absolutely nothing about cars of this era other than I like looking at them. That, I could pot around in that all day long. This little Royal Mail van and British Railways. They look like toy cars, don't they? It's like little toys. Oh, look at the truck. What a fabulous dinky little bus.
In 5 minutes time.
I could quite see myself driving around the country living in one of those. I have a sneaky feeling that's not standard. Very nice. Some princesses. Gear, isn't it? I love that. I got offered one of those years ago and I turned it down because you couldn't get the wings and it was all rotten along there. That was something I certainly should have said yes to. The Vauxhall Astra, first car I ever bought from a dealership. There's an Allegro over there. I'm starting to develop a soft spot for the Allegro, especially the Estate. How is that for a pretty lineup of cars? Oh, the colour on that one, beautiful. And the best colour for a Ferrari, yellow. I love a yellow Ferrari. Some nice 190 Mercs. My mate Ian has just bought one of these. Quite looking forward to seeing that. He wanted one of those, but he's got one of those. Nice Estate. Such a mix of cars, it's crazy. Do love a pop headlight. So cheeky little look in here. Lovely. GT40. There are absolutely loads of those here. It's like when we was in Le Mans, you think that you don't see many GT40s, but they were everywhere. It's a nice interesting colour. Right, where next? There are 6 or 7 halls in this show, and I don't think I've been in them all yet. Nice Zodiac, like that. That's quite cool. Monty, forward control Land Rover. I would really like to do a Porsche Cayenne like that. And we're over by the auction fence, look at that, Porsche 928 GTS. Technically the one to have, well, that's an automatic, it would be better if it was a manual, but I much prefer the S1 and S2. Another 928 S4. The smooth lights on the back of these and the way they smooth the front, just not my thing. Nice Ferrari. There we go. I wouldn't like to polish one of those. I've been in there for a walk around. I'm not going to do a walk around in there this time. I think at Cosworth there's something like 500 miles on it yesterday. Went for 150 grand. Now, 2 cars that my brother has had in his time is one of these multiplers. I would actually love one of these now. And One of my favourite cars that he's ever had is a Fiat Strada. Look at it. He had the 65, I think it was. It's the backlights on these.
Alright, I've been watching you because I've been watching on YouTube. Oh, you see it?
That is a very rare little car. I think there's one on eBay at the moment. It's like 800 quid, needs a lot of welding. A bit too much for me. This is one of my favourite cars of the show. Look at the colour on that. Kawasaki Green Lancia Stratos. It's just such an amazing looking car. That is a toy car from back in the day. And there is the beast. It's had a bit of a respray and is looking quite smart. I think it looks much nicer in its new colour actually. The early Capri Reliants. Right, that is only a fraction of the halls. I'm gonna go sit down and have another cup of tea, and I think what we should do now is let's have a chat with Andy Plumb. Right, it's recording now, isn't it? Yeah. I've no idea if you'll be able to hear us from here either. I need to get mics.
Oh, yeah. I should be alright, but it might become a lot of background noise.
I shouldn't feel good too.
You thought you could dub it.
Yeah.
But German underneath. It's real.
Put some instrument stuff underneath it, is there?
Yeah.
Right, hello, I'm here with Andy Plumb. Andy was the designer of the Mk3 Robin. I'm going to take you around Andy's car in a bit. Now, we did say that we'd write a few questions down and go through some interesting questions, but we went to the pub instead.
We did.
So,
and it all got lost in it.
yeah.
It's hazy times.
Never mind. So, we're going to wing it.
Yeah.
So, I think start off with the obvious place. How did you end up at Reliant designing the Mk3?
By chance, I was made redundant in my first job, and I literally applied through alphabetically for jobs, and Reliant was the first one to reply.
Really?
And within a month of being made redundant, they gave me a job. So luckily I wasn't unemployed for too long, and actually I was really excited by the whole prospect of the thing. I couldn't believe it, having to work for the Reliant car company. So yeah, it was great.
Yeah, a prestigious British mark.
Well, at the time it was very small again, and it was just starting up again, so it was going to be interesting.
So what era of management was that in? Because they went through a bit of turmoil, isn't it? And was that just before they started doing the SS1?
No, it was way after. This was the last era of management under Jonathan Haynes and Stuart Halstead, and a guy called Kevin Leach owned it, who was Jersey's first millionaire. And so he owned a lot of other companies and things, and so it was in 1997. Yeah, so that was the only thing they made was the Mk2 Robin, and that was it.
So what was your remit for the design of the car?
Well, originally it was because the company had been through so many receiverships. There was no moulds, there was no tools, there was nothing for the Mk2 Robin, what you've got. And we did a study on like all the panels were ready, they all came out the moulds looking a little bit cream crackered. So all these big tubs of filler, they took several of those to straighten out each body shape. And they had to make the decision to either do new moulds and facelift what they got, or go for a new car. So they decided to bring it into the 21st century, and that was the remit.
So every single Reliant has used part of another car. I think the Mark 1 with the front lights off the Mini, is it? The Mark 2, they're off the Ford Fiesta.
Yeah.
And on the Mark 3, they're off the Vauxhall Corsa.
That's right, yes.
How many design iterations did you go through? And why did they end up choosing Corsa lights?
Well, to start with, they didn't want to put new lamps on. They wanted to use the Mark II Fiesta lamps and make it look like a Mark II, but as different as they could. So there was like a Mark II and a half, if you like, or 2 3/4, and it didn't look fresh enough.
I think we're getting drowned out by a V8 over there. That's right, they've just turned it off. Great.
So they did we did this pattern for the Fiesta lamps with the new body style, and it looked a bit rubbish really. Thank God, it sort of proved it out, and they went, yeah, it needs new lamps, and thank goodness they decided to. So I proposed different lamps like Fiesta, more recent Fiesta ones, more recent Escort ones, Ford Focus, Ford Ka, all sorts of ones, because you can only use Ford or Vauxhall, otherwise you incur a major cost from other manufacturers, or standard parts from Lucas. So in the end they said no, we're using Vauxhall Corsa, and I think the reason for that was because they had a shareholder in India, San Locomotive, who could get hold of parts cheaper.
Right. So it's all down to budget. So
Get hold of, absolutely.
you ended up shaping the car around the headlights.
I
Or did
did.
you shape the?
Well, no, the car was shaped around the Mark II Fiesta lamp first of all, and I think I spent about a month doing that with some modelling materials, and then I put a saw out and chopped the front off and fitted the headlamps in the front of what I'd done.
Yeah.
Because I'd done some drawings beforehand. So yeah, that's the way it went.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So we'll show you some of the drawings that Andy did. There's one. They look like, I'd say it looks like a small Hyundai front on it now, and that's the one I preferred out of all the designs.
Yeah, there are lots of different ones.
What was your favourite? Did you?
I think it was that one. I did one that was more like a Mark 1, kind of a retro one,
Yeah.
with round lamps, and I wanted to take it more back to what people could identify with. But to me, it seemed a bit odd wanting to put teardrop-shaped lights on essentially a square body shape.
Yeah.
But that was what I had to do. That was the challenge.
And I think that's the one I pointed out, which I thought was the nicest of the
That's right, yeah.
designs.
Yeah.
So we'll show you that in a moment.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So I overheard a rumour that the budget for the Mark III is something like £7.50.
Yeah, more like 759.
So okay, they did push the boat though.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. No, they spent a bit of money, but it couldn't have been too expensive. Because they're trying to rescue the company, and they sort of. I think they spent about £1 million, including the building for new production. So they invested in the building more than the car, and then they went bust.
That's such a shame, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It is a big investment, you know. You hear all these jokes about the cord cutting, but yeah,
Don't say
£1 million
cord.
investment.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, £1 million for this building alone, and then I think the car itself was probably about 100 grand or something like that. So peanuts for car development.
Yeah, but still big money for when you hear about a company like Reliant.
Oh, huge!
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was all they could do, and you know, everything costs money to, for example, to type and prove something. I think, and I might be wrong, it's tens of thousands. One thing type and prove that. We had to type and prove the new shape with projections, radio, to make sure nobody gets hurt.
Right.
So they had to do that anyway.
Was there trouble getting the front headlights in through the type approval? I've heard a rumour they were too close.
Yeah, they are and they aren't. It depends which part of the lens you measure.
Right.
If you measure from the illuminated surface is what the regulations say, but if you measure on that, they're spot on.
Right.
If you don't and you measure from the edge of the lens it's hidden, then they're 10 millimetres too close.
It's that close.
That's close,
Right.
and they pass English regulations, but not European regulations. And then how many are going to get sold?
I think they did export a lot of Robins to Holland and that sort of thing.
In the past, they did, yeah.
But not when it came to the Mark III.
No, they weren't interested.
Yeah.
They were just mainly British market.
Yeah. I suppose it's a tough time, isn't it? It's 1960s technology still, 1960s, 1970s being sold in, well, up to the early 2000s.
Absolutely, it's incredible, isn't it? How people still wanted a car that was essentially clockwork.
Yeah.
And based on, 1950s, 1960s technology. Although that technology at the time was groundbreaking. There was nothing groundbreaking in 2001 about it.
No, it was. There's a lot of small cars with a lot more kit, air conditioning and all that sort of stuff.
For the
all
safety,
the airbags, yeah.
Yeah.
So, were you with Reliant up until the very end then, or?
No, I left I was only there for about a year.
Right.
I did the exterior of this, and we worked on 3 4-wheelers as well, but they didn't have enough money to go forward there either. So we did a new kitten, a new Civitar, and a 4-wheel bulldog. And they all reached prototype stage.
Okay.
But that's as far as it got. And then after that, there was a new director came in, and let's say he wasn't very agreeable with most people,
Right.
and including myself. So I thought,
Yeah. Okay. That's fair, isn't it?
yeah.
So, after Reliant, you had a bit of involvement in a few other fairly prestigious 3-wheel vehicles.
Yeah. I've worked in California for Volkswagen. and there we did. I was part of the team model making on a three-wheel Volkswagen GX3, and then I've just finished working at Morgan, where I was the lead model maker, digital model maker for the Super 3. Yeah. So and that car was epic.
Yeah, there's probably not many people with that number of three-wheel car designs on their resume.
No, and it's all happened just by chance as well. You know, you couldn't plan that sort of stuff, could you?
And what other big companies and big cars have you worked on that we would recognise?
I've worked on the Bentley Mulsanne as a designer, Continental GT. I've worked on Ford, Jaguar, XJ, BMW, all over the place really, yeah. So I'm not going to bore you silly, but a lot of
Now, you told us a story in the pub last night about your first day at Bentley. Was it your first day for your interview?
Yeah.
Obviously there's some language we can't use on the show.
Oh yeah. That was. I decided before my first ever day to go to Glastonbury for the week, and my mates decided that we'd all look good with peroxide blonde hair with blue dots in. So I did that, of course, as you do, and then I had a fit of consciousness before my first day, buzzed it all off, and that went down very well in the design studio. I had to face my first day looking professional.
So with a shaved blonde top with still blue spots.
No, all the spots have gone.
They have gone.
Yeah. I bet they wonder what earth they've done. So,
Right, Andy's written a book called The Tipping Point. That's just about your time at Reliant, isn't it?
No, it's about the design history of the Robin.
The full design history.
Yeah, and all the other four-wheelers we did there, and about all the technological advances of the company, and also about how good Reliant was at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole point of the book is to prove that everything is designed, even what you might think is just a Reliant Robin. Without the Reliant three-wheeler, we wouldn't have any of the four-wheelers. They then started doing a complete turnkey car industry for Turkey and Israel and anybody else who wanted it. And they're also composite experts producing things like the Ford RS200 rally car and fronts of trains, and they were the go-to people ahead of anybody else. They
fiberglass design.
Fiberglass composites. They were the second. I mean, I don't want to bore you with too many statistics, but there were lots of firsts from Reliant that were making their millions, and they were the second largest car company in the UK after British Tailors. They had the first composite mass-produced body after the Chevrolet Corvette in America that beat Lotus to it by 6 months, but they produced thousands more than Lotus did. They had the first all-aluminium overhead valve engine in Europe, the Coventry Climax to that. And the chassis, this is pushing the facts a bit far, but it is nonetheless a fact, is that they hired a guy called John Crosswhite, who was the chief engineer of Graham Hill and BRM and Formula One, and they won Formula One with his cars. So Reliant made him as chief engineer, and he engineered all the Robins, Bombos, Scimitars, and all that. So you would say that the Reliant Robin is Formula One engineered.
Right, it's starting to get a bit busier now. We're getting people walking behind us, so we're probably going to hear them more than us. So to quickly finish off, for you, what's the best car in the show that you've seen so far, other than my Robin?
Obviously, apart from the Robin, well, there's a unique right-hand drive Panhard up there, which looks awesome.
Oh, that's Tasty Classics new car. That is a fabulous car.
It's amazing. I love those. And a bit of a French car, I'm afraid. So a friend of mine's bought a Fiat Multipla.
Yes, which we've just seen the Multipla. That's lovely.
That is amazing. And there's also a Citroen SM up there with carbon fibre wheels, which that my inner geek loves. It's brilliant. So those are my favourites.
For me, it's the Kawasaki Green Lancia Stratos.
Oh,
absolutely, isn't it? What a beautiful looking car.
That is it.
Right, that's it. Thank you very much. We're going to shoot off because it is getting quite loud in here now. So thank you very much, Andy. Really appreciate it. Cheers.
Cheers.
I will put a link to your book. You got a link for that?
Yes.
We'll check a link below so you can check out Andy's book.
Fantastic. Thanks. Cheers. Cheers.
Just smiling, John. You found the Corsairs. It's only the Sunday and we found a hole that John hasn't even discovered. It's a nice colour. So it was one of those your dad had like that, is it?
Yeah, it was light metallic green and then sprayed black.
If only we all still had our dad's cars, then we'd be rich. Quite a nice lineup of rally cars. The Sunbeam. Audi Quattro. Sleeker. Remember Chris had one of those in Ermska replica. That's not an Ermska replica, but Chris had an Ermska Escort. And a little Hillman Imp. My dad had a Hillman Imp. Worst car he ever bought. And a big fleet of DeLoreans. Right, I'm going to say something controversial now, but DeLoreans. I like them painted.
Yeah, leave them bare metal, they rust, don't they?
Yeah. Chris, I can't keep fingerprints of anything, let alone one of these. Yeah. And just like that, we are out of time. It's the end of the show, so we're going to walk back down to our own stall, ready for everything to pack up, and for the horn serenade as we leave. Yeah. That's the end of another show. Ta-da! Is that clicked in? Oh, that's better. Logo!
Into the wet.
Out into the bridge once more, dear friend. Oh, don't send us round that way, it takes ages.
Alright, alright, turn you around. There goes Silo.
Are they sending us round the wrong way?
I have no idea. That's kind of the way we want to go, that way.
Yeah, we want to go that way, she's making them.
Oh, we got to join the queue basically. So here we are back again next year. Getting here early.
That way makes you go all the way round.
Gonna see if I can get a wave off these guys.
Yeah.
No?
What's that?
Oh, I went those guys, but that's... Oh, sorry.
Or Alex.
Yeah. We might want to give them all away. Oh, it's gone off.
This is still on. Turn to them. You're pointing at us.
Alright. traffic jam we don't really mind being in.